Will these hi-fi accessories help control vibrations on my turntables? And more importantly, will I hear a difference? Let's find out. Alright, 33er Stack Audio sent me these turntable accessories to check out. These accessories are designed to reduce turntable vibrations and micro vibrations, which in theory should improve my listening experience. The accessories I sent over include this mat. This is called the Serene mat. I sent over this little device. It looks like a record weight, but it's not a record weight. They call this a Serene stabilizer, and they sent over these equipment isolators, 4 of them. You put these under the feet of your turntable. And again, all these are supposed to work together to reduce vibrations. I'll get more into all this, but when they first reached out to me, I was a little bit hesitant to do this review because I don't consider myself an audiophile. I asked them, I said, if I use this stuff on my very average turntables, should or will I hear a sound difference? And they assured me I would, so my curiosity was piqued. Alright, so I will show you more in detail what they sent over. These are called AVA equipment isolators. Essentially, they are feet for hi-fi gear. I've never quite seen anything like this before. The shell is made out of aluminum, and the bottom side is made of silicone. It's kind of spongy there, so you put these underneath the feet of your turntable. Or you can just remove the feet of your turntable and use these as the feet. And the silicone here decouples the turntable from the surface it's sitting on. I'll show you some video here on the screen. The equipment isolators, according to Stack Audio, use particle impact dampening. I'm not sure what that means. Particle impact dampening to reduce audio vibrations and enhance sound quality. It's fancy words, but it's pretty cool, as you see in that video. A set of 4, it's not cheap. A set of 4 sells for 165 pounds, which is equal to $207 US, or about $295 Canadian. They also sent me over the Serene stabilizer, which looks like a record weight, but it is not a record weight. In fact, this hardly weighs anything at all, but there is more to this than meets the eye. On the back, you have this part here, this doohickey that goes over your turntable spindle. But there's, again, that silicone material on the back. So this is actually quite spongy. And listen to this. There's particles inside. And again, those particles are said to absorb vibrations from your turntable. I'm just looking at my notes here. Those materials inside are actually lightweight rubber particles. So this one sells for 162 pounds, which is equal to about $205 US. Or $290 Canadian. And they also sent me this turntable mat. They call it the Serene mat. And this is one of the coolest turntable mats I've ever seen. Again, it's made from silicone. I'm not sure if you can tell on the video, but there's these little nibs. There's these 4 nibs on the playing surface, and the record sits on top of there. And there's indents right there on the bottom side. And again, those kind of, from what I understand, act as shock absorbers, right? So again, that absorbs the vibrations from the record as it's spinning on the turntable on top of this mat. And this retails for 62 pounds, which is equal to about $79 US or $112 Canadian. If you go to Stack Audio's website or Stack Audio's YouTube page, there's a bunch of information on the process that went into designing all this stuff and the science behind it. It's pretty in-depth. It sounds pretty cool. The question I've been asking myself, or I was asking myself when I got this, is, does this stuff actually work? As I said off the top, I don't have the best gear in the world. I tested this equipment on my 3 main turntables, which include my Technics SL1200 Mark II turntable, which is equipped with an Ortophone Concord Elite stylus. I also tested it out on my Project Debut Carbon turntable, which is equipped with an Ortophone 2M Blue. And I did most of the testing in the next room on my Hitachi PS48 vintage turntable. And the Hitachi has, what did I have on there? I had a Pickering XV15 625E cartridge with an aftermarket Jaico stylus. That went into a Marantz PM6004 amp, which was outputted to some Dolly Oberon 7 speakers. So that's the general listening setup I used to test all this stuff. From what I understand, with the equipment isolators, the feet, I would get the best bang for my buck if I removed the feet from my turntable and used these as the feet. I tried with my Hitachi turntable and I couldn't do it. They just weren't tall enough. There wasn't enough clearance underneath the turntable. So I rested the turntable directly on these equipment isolators, which seemed to do the trick. For testing purposes, I used a few records. I tested it, first of all, with the Rhino high fidelity pressing of the Black Sabbath debut album. I also used an early pressing of David Bowie's Let's Dance album, a fantastic sounding record. And I also used a mono reissue of Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. If I'm honest, it was a little bit difficult to do the A-B comparisons because I would play a song or a passage from a song, then I'd quickly take the record off and put on all the stack audio gear and then play that same passage again. But by the time I listened a second time, several minutes had passed by. I mean, ideally, I wish I could just do direct A-B comparisons, but there's that time lag, which wasn't ideal. But it is what it is. After going back and forth and doing those A-B comparisons, I did notice that the accessories were having an impact on what I was hearing. The high end in particular was smoother, rolled back a bit, and less harsh. I noticed this most when listening to Bill Ward's cymbals on the Black Sabbath debut, again on the Hitachi turntable. I also noticed that the bass was punchier and better defined. Again on the Sabbath album, I noticed this most on Geezer's bass on the opening track and on Bill Ward's kick drum. Again, the difference was relatively subtle, but there was definitely a difference. The other thing I noticed is that with the stack audio accessories in place, my stylus seemed to be pulling or extracting more sound from the grooves, including more snap, crackle, and pop if the records weren't perfectly clean. So, what's my bottom line? First, the design and build quality of these accessories is excellent. No, the products aren't cheap, but the designs are well researched. This is pretty unique stuff. They look and feel like quality products. It's also nice to see stuff made in the UK and not farmed out to China like so many things are nowadays. And yes, the vibration killers appear to work as advertised. Even to my non-audiophile ears, I could hear a difference. It was subtle, not night and day, but I could clearly hear a difference. There was an overall improvement in sound, which I'm sure would be even more pronounced on higher end gear. Overall, these were cool accessories. Obviously, they are not for everyone, but if you enjoy tinkering with your gear and getting the best possible sound out of your equipment, Stack Audio accessories are worth checking out. All right, 33ers, what kind of turntable accessories do you use? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. I do appreciate it. Until next time, keep on spinning.